You've been very careful. You've picked out that exact PC for you. But then you realize that there's more that you want to do. Maybe there's more storage that you want to add. Or maybe you've just learned the piano and you want to feed your piano playing into your PC so you can mix incredible sound scores for movies. Well, thanks to expansion capabilities on PCs today, we can add this functionality. Let me show you the PC expansion card functionality that we may have on our PC. So here you can see an Alienware Aurora PC. Look at that very unique case design. We're going to swing around to the back of this PC and we're going to see the expansion capabilities. Not a lot, but there is some that exist. You can see 4 slots for expansion and you can see that 2 are utilized. As we'll find out in a moment, 2 of those are utilized by an intense video card that's in this machine. Why the intense video card? Because I use this machine for one thing and one thing only: Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I wanted all video card in this and all RAM, as you might guess. The case design to open is pretty cool. We slide that front slot, then we go ahead and we make sure that it is unlocked. On the rear of the unit is a locking mechanism for the case, and then we're going to slide the back panel as well. It just presses down gently and that slides the cover right off the side of the device. Very convenient case design. So inside, there's more case design that adds protection, and notice there's this convenient door here. We press on this white latch and we open this door, and there we can see we have access to the expansion slots. Notice what happens. Against the motherboard is the slot, and we would unscrew the little protective steel case that is what you see on the exterior of the PC, and then there's various size expansion slots that we can insert into the motherboard, leaving the ports on the exterior of the PC for us to access. So this is the expansion capabilities that many PCs offer, and you notice mine's a bit cramped. The Alienware system only gave me 4 expansion slots and 2 are consumed by the intense Radeon video card. So what are your options when it comes to PC expansion? Well, pretty much the sky's the limit. Although there are 4 common categories of expansion cards that we use today. I would say it's video, multimedia, input or output options, or communication options. Now, I've given you a bunch of different examples right here, like you may add new cool sound capabilities with a card, or new video capabilities with a card, like you see that I did in the Aurora system, adding this really incredible video card for flight simulation. Maybe we want to add networking via a card, or maybe we want to add an external USB storage device, or then we hear FireWires faster, or then we hear Thunderbolts even faster. You get the idea. As there's new storage technologies like USB and then FireWire and then Thunderbolt, we can add these new technologies as they come out via one of these new cards. Maybe there's storage right on the card. Maybe there's modem capabilities or cellular or wireless capabilities. Maybe we want to plug in a TV. Maybe we want to capture video through the expansion of one of these cards. You're getting the idea here. Your PC begins to take on different functionality and different purposes for you based on its expandability. Remember back to my Aurora PC that we saw in this particular nugget, it wasn't all that expandable, and that was by design. That machine is for gaming. I purchased it for flight simulation gaming, and it was all about its video and RAM and processing power, and it's not really designed to be expanded to do much else for me. Other PCs may allow much more expansion. By the way, if your system doesn't have a whole bunch of slots for it for expansion, we might engage in what's called a riser card situation. Here I have one depicted for you. Notice what we do. We stick in like a single slot that's available for us on the motherboard, another card that allows cards to be input into it. And those new cards will run parallel of the motherboard. So we can do tricks to enhance the expandability of our system, and a riser card is an example of that. Now, you might have noticed when we looked at my system, there was one expansion port that was small that would fit a card like this. Just a couple of these pins, and you just slide it right in there. And then, of course, these ports stick out the back of the PC. Then I had a slot that was available that was really big compared to this. These are called your PCI slots, and you obviously have to get a card that fits the appropriate slot. PCI stands for Peripheral Component Interconnect. Just fancy language that says we are adding to the capabilities of the PC through an expansion card. By the way, the card we're looking at right here, this is a pretty interesting card. You know what this card would do if I added it to my machine? It would keep the time synchronized by connecting to GPS. That's right. So if we had a computer on our network that we wanted to make sure always had the right time and would feed the right time to other computers on the network, this expansion card would give us that capability. So this seems pretty straightforward. Expanding the capabilities of your PC with these expansion cards. I love it. What would be tricky about it? Well, there is many generations of this technology, and there's even one designed for portables. Let's tackle that one first. So it's called Mini PCI, and you see this could be used in like a laptop computer, this particular slot. And here's a very cool SSD additional memory, solid state drive or solid state disk memory that we could insert into a portable. Pretty cool. Now, when you're talking about PCs like my Alienware system, what are we dealing with for the particular generation of PCI slot? You see, there used to be what we call now classic PCI, and we didn't see any slots like this. They're usually colored white inside the system, and this is older school, slower technology. Then there was PCIX technology that came along, then PCIe technology that came along. Here we can see PCIX slots, those longer slots colored white on this system. Here we can see these blue slots that are PCIe technology. In fact, we had one of these on the Aurora PC that we saw earlier in this particular nugget. Notice there's actually, let me get a different pen color so you can see this. Notice there's actually labeling on the motherboard that this is PCIe technology. Pretty cool. So we can see that, and also keep in mind that the documentation on your PC is going to tell you what particular slots that you have available. I just noticed there's labeling here, isn't there, on these classic PCI slots. So we need to make sure we are getting the correct card that will fit our motherboard. What's one of the key differences, by the way, in these technologies as you graduate from like classic PCI to PCIX or to PCIe? Well, you probably guessed it's speed. It's the ability of that particular slot to communicate at a high rate of speed to the motherboard and all the components inside. Early slots used to communicate at like 133 megabytes per second. Newer technology can communicate at 4.26 gigabytes per second. So technology just keeps allowing faster communications interacting with our systems. So in this straightforward nugget, we took a look at the ability to expand what our PC can do for us, and we expand it through the use of these expansion cards. Remember, 4 major categories. We typically expand the video capabilities this way, the multimedia capabilities this way, input and output options, and communications options this way. Maybe we want to add incredibly rich surround sound to our PC environment. And sure, there might be software built into the PC and hardware built into the PC for basic sound. Maybe we just get like one little headphone jack. But if we want to go with a rich surround sound experience, it may be the addition of a PC expansion card that gets the job done for us. I sure hope you found this nugget informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.